Good day, everyone. We have an interesting story before us. The title of today's lesson is God Made a Way Where There Was No Way. Imagine a clear bottle filled with water and a small toy person or paper figure. Imagine you are this little person. You are walking and suddenly you reach a big river. There is water everywhere. You cannot swim across. There is no bridge. There is no boat. What will you do? Today we will hear a true story from the Bible where God made a road in the middle of the sea. The children of Israel thought they were trapped, but God made a way where there was no way. The children of Israel had lived in Egypt for many years. They were slaves. They worked very hard and were treated badly, but God heard their cries. God sent a man named Moses to lead them out of Egypt. After many miracles, Pharaoh finally allowed the Israelites to go. Millions of people began their journey out of Egypt. Families packed their things. Parents carried babies. Children walked beside their parents. Everyone was excited. God had set them free. After traveling for some time, the Israelites came to a very big problem. In front of them was the Red Sea. Behind them was the Egyptian army. Pharaoh had changed his mind. He sent his soldiers and chariots to bring the Israelites back. The people became afraid. They saw the soldiers coming. They saw the sea in front of them. There was no bridge. There was no boat. There was no road. They began to complain to Moses. Why did you bring us here? We are going to die. Sometimes people forget quickly what God has already done. Moses did not panic. Moses trusted God. He told the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." God then spoke to Moses. God told Moses to stretch out his rod over the sea. This sounded impossible, but Moses obeyed. When Moses lifted his rod, something amazing happened. God sent a strong wind all night. The sea began to divide. Water moved to the right side. Water moved to the left side. Right in the middle of the sea, dry land appeared. A road formed where there had only been water. Imagine walking between two giant walls of water. Fish were on both sides. The ground was dry. God had made a path through the sea. The Israelites began to walk across. Parents held their children's hands. Everyone walked quickly across the dry ground. God truly made a way where there was no way. The Egyptian army saw the Israelites crossing the sea. They decided to chase them. Their horses and chariots rushed into the pass in the sea. But God was protecting his people. Their chariot wheels began to get stuck. The soldiers became confused. Then God told Moses to stretch his rod again. When Moses stretched his rod again, the waters returned. The sea closed. The Israelites were safe on the other side. But the Egyptian army was defeated. God had completely delivered his people. When the Israelites saw what God had done, they praised him. They sang songs of joy because God had saved them. Life lessons for children. 1. God can solve impossible problems. Sometimes children face problems that feel too big. Schoolwork may be difficult. Friends may be unkind. You may feel afraid. But the Red Sea story shows that God can do what people cannot do. 2. Fear makes people forget what God has done. God had already done many miracles in Egypt. Yet when the people saw trouble, they forgot. Children must remember God's goodness even during difficult times. 3. Obedience brings miracles. Moses obeyed God even when the instructions seemed strange. When he lifted the rod, God performed a miracle. 4. God protects his people. God stood between the Israelites and the Egyptians. God fought for them. Children who trust God are never alone. Friends, when you face a problem, pray instead of panicking. Instead of worrying, talk to God. Trust God even when you do not understand what He is doing. The Israelites did not know how God would save them, but He did. Remember what God has already done in your life. If God helped you before, He can help you again. Obey God quickly. When God gives instructions through His word, obey just like Moses did. What was in front of the Israelites? The Red Sea. What was behind them? The Egyptian army. Who made a way for them? God. When the Israelites looked at the sea, they saw a problem. When God looked at the sea, He saw a road. Pray, dear God, thank you for making a way for your people at the Red Sea. Help us trust you when we face problems. Teach us to obey you and believe that you can make a way even when we cannot see one. Amen.